we are. It's the B&G group back together again for our 2019 season.
Yep. Woohoo!
Woo! We're back at our favorite camp here in Greenwater, and we don't actually have an official beginning to the campout yet. We're going to talk about some of the experiences that happened from a few of our campers that came a couple of nights early. So that would have been Claire and Courtney and Terry.
Tom.
Oh, and Tom.
Spencer.
And Spencer and Richard. Okay. So something happened. Several things happened. Why don't you tell us about it?
Okay. So we were sitting here, and I heard a loud, what I thought was a fighter jet coming overhead, and it was directly up in the clearing up here. We saw it, and it was a triangular, for lack of better words, craft. We heard it come, and then it stopped, and it shut off. And then it moved again to the next clearing, started again, and then it was gone. No noise, didn't see it leave, it was just gone.
What do you mean by shut off?
Yeah, I was going to ask you that too.
It was like the engine got completely silent, but yet it was still hovering.
Was it a humming, like...
It was loud.
We mistook it for fighter jet.
Yeah, it sounded like a fighter jet, but yet when it got over the top of us, it didn't sound like that at all.
No.
It sounded like it was like, like a cyclone, like a weird windy turbine sound. Yeah, that's exactly what it sounded like. Just this huge
Was it
turbine.
rhythmic?
No, it was that turbine sound, but yet, I mean, it
Like
was
a loud humming.
yeah.
Engine.
I can't, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's reported a lot with those
really
crafts.
Never heard it before.
I'd never heard that before.
And the lights.
And you said the lights were colored?
Oh, yeah,
colored?
the lights. There was one red light and there's two white lights.
And the red light was in the middle?
Yes.
On point. Yeah.
On the point.
Oh, on the
yeah,
point?
And then two
That's
whites were, I guess, on the wings, but they were huge, round, circular. They weren't like a plane.
TR3s.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
bizarre. It was
And
just gone.
how long did this take from beginning to end?
Boy.
Oh.
Yeah, it,
Seconds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
5-6 seconds.
it was pretty quick. It was enough for us to let it see it purposefully, I think.
Yeah.
So, question real quick. When you said it was gone, did it move away or it just vanished?
It just vanished.
Just vanished.
It was gone.
Right there.
Yep.
In front of all.
Yep.
And you were looking right at it
We
when
were
it
looking
happened?
right at it.
Wow. That's really cool.
Because we heard it first.
Yeah.
And we, and then we all look up, and it's about what, midnight?
Yeah,
It's about midnight.
Decently late.
And we look up, and it was, we're like, that's a low plane. Low. And we thought, that's not a plane. Because we were thinking fighter jet, they're doing maneuvers, it's a forest area, no one's going to hear it, no one's going to see it. For us to see it clearly, and then afterwards we're like, well, wait a minute, that was really strange. Why do we all have this? We all saw it, we like took a picture in our mind of it, we all can see it still, and it was there too long.
But
Like a plane wouldn't be there that long. It would
well,
have gone.
unless it's a
gone.
VTOL,
It was
or, I mean,
stationary.
unless
So it was
stationary,
literally
you
hovering
can't-
over
Yeah.
You
camp.
do have aircraft
And
that
when
can
it was,
do
it was
that,
silent.
but
When it was stopped,
Not a
it
whole
was
bunch.
silent, and then it went. You could hear it, and when it moved over here, but then it was just gone. It was just gone. It vanished. Yeah.
so
Wow.
it cloaked itself.
Because we waited. We wanted to see if it came through.
Yeah.
You know, and
There was nothing.
no.
There was nothing, and we didn't hear it again either.
Yeah.
That's when I made the joke they dropped off the Sasquatch commandos.
That would go with your little noise of the army behind you.
Oh
there.
man, I tell you what.
So loud.
was ridiculous.
Oh, so was that after that?
Yeah, see, I didn't see the craft. I had gone to the Jeep for a second or something, and I
You
came
were
back.
walking with Spencer.
I was taking a walk or something, and I came back, and these guys are all excited.
And then that's when you heard all this movement behind
no,
you?
that was later on.
That was later.
Yeah.
But it was
That was
after the crash.
right after.
Yeah.
Directly
Yeah.
after.
And we kept hearing all kinds of crackles every once in a while in the back there. Just odds and ends. Occasional flash of light someplace, some weird stuff. So All right, then everybody decided it was time to go to bed or whatever. I stoked the fire, got it going, and walked these guys. We all went down there to the campsite down there. And I came back up. I was the only one up here. I was sitting in a chair right about here, and it sounded like an army was walking right behind me. All kinds of tree snaps and all kinds of stuff going on, like there was a bunch of movement, probably 5 or 6 or 7, I don't know, it was a lot. And I turned around and I tried to see them with the flashlight and stuff, didn't see nothing, but you can hear them. And then after that, I sat here for a minute, then I got in the Jeep and turned the lights off to get away from the firelight, and I couldn't see nothing, but you can hear them. I was waiting to hear some screams around here, but I didn't hear that. And then finally, it was all quiet, so I went over down to where I'm camping across the river, and right as I got in my tent, I hear this giant, like big ugly growl. And I was like, oh boy, what is that? So
Yes.
I just sat there for a minute, and that was about it. And one other thing too, during this time period too, it goes in spurts, where you're sitting there and you're aware somebody's watching you, out of nowhere. Like we're having a conversation and everybody just stops and goes,
Yeah.
okay. You know, you're aware. All of a sudden your instincts kick in. So the army walking behind me was enough for me to go to the Jeep. You know, I was like, hey man, I'm gonna go in there and see if I can see him, but I'm gonna also get in the Jeep for a second here. I'm gonna listen for the screams and then I'll come down, I guess.
Yeah. So I have another question. Last night we did hear a plane go over, and it was not ultra low, but you could actually hear that it was a plane and it was moving.
It was a big rumble.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
big rumble. Was it like that when it approached?
It
Or-
started off like that, but it was 10 times louder. It was extremely loud.
Really loud.
Yeah.
Huh.
We thought it was a fighter jet.
They're usually
And then
quiet,
it changed sound.
Yeah.
It was like, that is not a fighter jet.
different propulsion.
It was like a, with a fighter jet. It was I've never heard it before.
So another thing I want to point out too that I noticed that night was, as they were talking about it, I came up and I turned right around and I noticed that there was air traffic in the background, right? So with this air traffic in the background, it's very possible that this thing might have been semi-silent, and what they heard was a fighter jet or something else coming overhead. Because
that's
see what I'm saying?
Oh,
That happens.
That's what I'm talking about. And what they're hearing is the jet coming over the top of them, but they're seeing something else.
Oh,
So-
Oh, we need
okay.
to check reports.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
maybe they scrambled to intercept whatever.
If they knew
Crap.
something was
Yeah.
up here in
Happens
the
all
area.
the time.
It happens all the time.
When we went to bed on Monday night, Claire and Courtney and myself were in the tent, and we got into bed, ready to fall asleep, and something brushed down the side of the tent right above my head. Like, my head's here, it went like
Wow.
that. And it almost sounded like a tree frond, that maybe got, fell or hit the tent. But I looked the next morning, there wasn't anything there. So I didn't hear anything right then. Courtney had an experience that night too.
I did, yeah. Well, a couple of things, pine cones or pebbles, something like that was thrown at the tent, which we heard, but I woke up to being poked through the tent right
Oh.
on my temple, and it was so
Wow.
quick, but yet I felt it, and I jumped over the top of Claire. I did. I didn't know what it was,
Wow.
yeah.
Holy cow. So you were awake or asleep?
I was asleep.
Okay.
Yeah, woke me up.
Wow. How startling is that?
Yeah, it was pretty startling.
Obviously enough
Yeah.
to jump
And
over
then I
Claire.
thought I was dreaming, hearing a long howl, and I woke up and it just continued on and on and on. Then I knew I wasn't dreaming.
Wow.
Have you ever heard Courtney scream like a girl?
I can't say I have either. There's a first.
Oh, that's great. Now, didn't you get poked in your tent here one
Yeah.
time?
where Yvonne's camped over there. I
Yeah.
did. I got poked right in between my arm and my body, and to the point where my pajama top stuck. And when I went forward, it released. I could feel it release. But I
Wow.
don't recall the tent wall moving, just the poke through the tent.
Wow.
That
Very
was
cool.
a couple years ago.
Uh-huh.
Right over here.
Yeah. Well, and then it was just this last year that you were back here talking to Click, and you put your hand up to the tent wall and felt him push the tent between your
between.
fingers.
Right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I
Yeah.
had my legs jumped on that same campout from outside the tent when you were sleeping in the hammock outside the tent.
And
Yeah.
didn't come to your rescue.
And I did scream like a little girl. Nobody came. Yeah, so that's a thing.
Cool.
Are you sleeping on the back? Let's see, is it the left side? Is the popular side or the
sleeping
right
on-
side?
I'm sleeping on the left side.
So when you're looking at your tent, you're on the left?
Yes.
Oh.
I think I heard this years ago that's kind of a popular corner. So don't sleep away from the
So
wall.
Claire gets to sleep on that side
Yeah.
tonight.
I'm not doing it.
But I will say I was on the right side of that tent when I got poked. But I was away from the wall. I know to sleep away from the wall.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I told these guys.
yeah.
You're sleeping on.
Yeah, but you're not leaving us a lot of choice.
She's in the middle.
Okay, I'll take my turn.
Wow. Cool.
It's a thing.
I was down below here in the lower camp area, I think a couple of years ago, when something brushed the side of my tent just from one side, and that would have been the left side too.
Like a swipe.
Yeah, it just from one side to the other. Yeah, I love this place. We got up here, got camp set up. I think last night was pretty quiet all the way around. I didn't notice anything. Did you?
We had we weren't quiet last night and before the drumming, and I was sitting right here with my back to the wood pile, and there was definitely something heavy that moved behind the wood pile, and there was a number of people that heard the same thing.
Okay.
So I couldn't see it. I doubt it would be a bear with all the noise and commotion and
Oh
lights
yeah,
here.
they're not going to sneak in behind a
But
wood
there's
pile to
something
peek at us.
Definitely going from left to right behind the wood pile.
Wow, cool. Okay.
We had that same thing happen last year,
Yeah.
last May.
Yeah.
The three of us were here, and we could hear commotion behind the wood pile. And two of the three of us went to the other side and left me alone over here. Other than that, it was fine.
Okay, so then this morning, something happened this morning.
Yeah, I had just finished breakfast, and I was just scanning in the area, and I just looked over here. And just as I looked over here, there's see the stump there on the other side of the road here?
What's left of a stump?
What's left of
Yeah.
the stump, and there's two little saplings behind it. I saw like a yellow streak that was maybe about this tall and about this wide, just like a strip right there. And there was a little shimmer, and it made like a triangular shaped shimmer, and then whoop, disappeared.
Wow.
And then just shortly before that, though, Courtney, so about 5 minutes before that, Courtney saw something in that same area. So wanted to
Black fur on the tree.
What did you see?
Black
Just
what?
like black fur on the tree.
Oh, okay.
Is it still there? Black fur?
No, I actually saw it move up the tree, but
Oh,
it was
you
gone.
did?
But it was only, I don't know, like sticking out that much
Oh.
from the side of the tree trunk. I thought maybe it was a raccoon or something. I couldn't see it well enough,
So
but
something small.
something was over there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, cool. Well, I'd say this is a great way to start off a camp out, huh?
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, considering we don't actually start until officially at noon today. So,
I know. This is just a setup crew.
yeah, woohoo! All right, everybody, here's to an excellent camp out.
Yay!
Woohoo!
Started with 3, now it's 25.
That's awesome.
Thanks, everybody.
I think there's a glyph for us here, Barb.
What do you see?
Big glyph with rooted sticks,
Oh, wow.
Kind of woven,
Look at that. That is interesting, isn't it?
and then there's tons and tons of feathers directly next to it.
Oh,
Little
yeah.
feathers. Somebody died.
Somebody got ate. A little bird. This is really cool.
It is pretty cool, isn't it?
Now it's
They're
got
rooted,
roots
two
on
of
it.
them.
And it's snapped off fresh. This one
Just laying there.
just laying there. Oh, that is very cool. Look at that. So, where exactly from here were the sounds coming from? The army.
Back here.
Up on the hill or down below?
Well, probably both. It
Both?
was just loud.
Wow. It's interesting. I noticed this tree here, these two trees, their little root wad is sticking up there and it looks kind of fresh right there.
Oh yeah.
This one here is down, but it's worn on there. This has been down for a while. So yeah, this here, you can still see how fresh that is.
Yeah.
Anything over there, Sandy?
No, just scuffs. But then there's something there
Oh yeah.
and there.
That's a deep one.
And those are right in line with the tree that's pushed over.
See those?
That is big.
Let's see if I
That
can get
second
down
one
there.
is wide.
Oh wow, this actually looks like it's possibly more of a handprint. Thumb and fingers like that, as though something leaned in there. This one isn't really definite, but if you look at this looks like it has finger holes.
Trillium. Sorry. A trillium.
Oh, aren't they pretty? Well, if you notice, just even where I come down, I'm not really leaving any tracks. I'm just kind of like pushing the dirt down. Doesn't that look like fingers?
That one sure
How far
feels
did it
like
go
one.
in?
This one here.
It looks to
goes-
me like it's like
You
this.
can feel the end of it. Oh,
That one
oh,
deep?
feel that one. Courtney could feel that one. That's cool.
Is it deep, deep?
It curves, so you're like
Well,
this.
maybe it was a finger.
Feel
Yeah,
how it
I
curves.
think
Oh, it
that it
does.
was a
Does
hand
it?
that went
Your
like
finger's
this.
in this position.
Yeah.
Sandy, put your hand in there with this hand like this.
I can't do it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't do it all.
Your fingers don't stretch far
No.
enough.
No, even.
But you
even
should
if,
feel
like,
that. It's cool. And this feels
because
this one.
looks like there's-
This one is definitely ends.
Wow.
This one.
one's not
curves.
very-
Maybe we should pour some casting material in there.
That'd be cool.
This one's pretty deep.
Yeah.
That one deep
That goes to my second knuckle.
and it ends. That's cool. These are not as descript
Yeah, I think it would be the thumb and the forefinger.
in the middle.
Yeah.
Or something.
So the pinky and the other finger, the second finger would not make
Couldn't
such
make
deep.
it back.
Yeah.
Like that.
But you need to feel that's cool.
Yeah, God, that's huge though. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't even.
Yeah, but if you look at just the mark I made coming down, I
Yeah.
didn't make a footprint. I pulled it
Yeah.
down, and that's basically what that looks like. Is that weight went in, pulled it down, the fingers went in, made the marks.
That's cool.
And if you're right here and you're leaning right there, what are you looking at? But camp right here.
That's cool.
Okay, so we
It's
were
fine.
looking at this. This is what drew our attention off the road. And then we have this here, which heel may have been toes. This isn't fresh or anything, but may have been toes there. But right here, it appears to have a break in it.
Okay. Oh, good. We'll hang. Here, take
This-
one of these in case you find it.
This is really special here. We got the maple that way, the maple that way, making the X. Old one right behind it, and a cross right there. That is really